because like I can listen to full episodes of the Kill stream, and they say all kinds of crazy stuff. AP's doing the Blunt stream right now. Like
Yeah, what? Why are you getting
I
shut
don't.
down immediately?
I'm guessing I don't have the sub numbers that make it so you can do that sort of thing. But we're live again. People they'll filter back in.
Oh my god.
But anyway, you were saying,
Ugh.
yeah, it's
Are you
frustrating.
serious?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you're just gonna, I and you and I guess would probably just have to deal with it. And I also started recording this, so if they keep shutting it down, I'll just keep going back and forth. And when it is done and over with, I'll just re-upload the stream on as a video and work with it that way. That way, it'll still be out there in an entirety. That way, I don't got to worry too much about trying to stop and start every time this YouTube bot has a problem. So anyway, ethnic
Ridiculous.
yeah, it's crazy. Probably because I said marginalized or minorities. Here in about 30 seconds, it'll.
Yeah, did I say a bad word?
No, neither one of us did. But anything that bumps, I don't understand it.
Oh
I
my
don't think YouTube
god.
understands it.
Okay, I mean, I'm seeing people going back, I guess. So,
It's crazy.
yeah, hi, whoever made it back.
So I'm just bringing people in here to kill them.
It's ridiculous, yeah. Okay, to answer your question, and if anybody's listening, yeah, there are sometimes I like to shut places down. Beard said it might be some of the stuff you have on your reel. I don't know if that.
Nah, I've used that stuff for like ever. I don't know what it would actually be on there that does that. I got to put something up. Oh yeah, I had other stuff. I was going to actually put up. Oh well, it's too late for that. Go on, just say what you're going to say.
Okay.
We'll move on. Let's just act like YouTube doesn't matter. Let's just have a
Okay.
conversation.
Okay. um. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying when you say, what kind of places do I shut down or whatnot.
I would
There's
imagine they'd be dirty places.
it has to be a really good reason. We don't shut places down often, and actually it's kind of funny that some of the times when we've shut them down, they actually wanted to be shut down. And it was kind of an issue I think they had with their landlords, or they're renting the the place. Yeah, and they have like disagreements or something like that. So sometimes it's like a building issue. So for instance, there was one place that the pipes broke underneath the restaurant, and uh the restaurant, they wanted the building owner to take care of it, and the building owner wanted the restaurant to take care of it, and they were in disagreement over who was really responsible and who caused the problem in the first place. So
I can actually speak to that with some experience.
yeah, so the guy, he actually wanted me to shut them down. He was really happy about it. So as soon as I posted it on the door, this place is closed. You can't operate here until the repairs are done. The next day he had like moving trucks getting out of there. So
Yeah, because if they shut his stuff down because the landlord, then it kind of, I guess, it depends on how their rent contract is worded.
right, yeah, and we don't deal with that kind of stuff. So
Obviously,
yeah, if it's like a landlord tenant kind of situation, that's a civil issue, and we don't really get into those kind of things. But
yeah,
I'm concerned with the health and safety of the public, so it definitely had to shut them down because it was backing up, their sewer system.
yeah,
That it was
yeah.
disgusting. It wasn't like,
Bet it
yeah, I want
smelled
to shut
great.
them down.
So wonderful. We
Yeah,
have
it's a
our building in my primary job happens to be it's probably over 100 years old, and so it used to be a horse stable for like a fire department, and
Okay.
it's got coal chutes and shit like down that were staircases, so none of the building is like it's watertight as far as like the upstairs and the restaurant and stuff. Well, sort of, but I mean, there's like, well, the problem is there's like a cell phone tower. There's a whole building above it, right? That could be like, it used to be like an office or like some apartments or something like that. You know, it's like 4 stories maybe. And like now that's all rented out by Verizon. And they basically
Okay.
attach cell phone stuff to it. And, and then below that is like the bar and then the, dining room and the restaurant kitchen. And I mean, that basement, oh my god, it's a labyrinth of just just things that have been ad hoc put together. Like you don't store any food down there. Well, they store like
Can
soda.
I ask what state?
Ohio.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So there's probably different. It's an old building. There's like a couple roof leaks in places that don't really matter because the main problem with the structure of that building is the fact that the bathrooms aren't centrally located. They're sort of like, because the way the building codes work around here is if you have a business that's on the street, you have to have a front door and a back door if your parking's out back. So
Yeah, it's the same here.
yeah,
It's if for us it's a fire
yeah,
issue.
that's exactly the
You
same
have to have
way.
like for fire exits.
So the the problem is there's this long hallway and the two bathrooms are located in there in that hallway, but you can't see the hallway so much from the dining room, right? So like, I mean, there's just like a myriad of structural problems with that place, but none of them are like health code violations really. And even if they were, there wouldn't
Sure.
be something that either one of us could do about it, like either as a restaurant or the landlord, short of I don't know, tearing it all down and rebuilding it, you know.
Right. Yeah,
And
and we have exemptions when it's like an older building or something. So
yeah,
just how it was built and it was allowed or something before. So we do have exemptions for that kind of thing.
yeah, of course. And but the main problem is fucking homeless people will walk in there. You can't see them go in there, and they'll just set up camp in the bathroom. And so it's kind of
Oh, yeah. Oh.
so every so often you get to walk in on sometimes couples, sometimes a guy passed out. I'm still waiting for someone to be dead.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's great. The worst part is they hang out in the back. I complain about this all the time on the stream. They hang out on the back patio. That's
Mhm.
not like it's not gated or anything. It's not like a drinking patio where you can go out there and smoke and shit. But so you can't take your drinks out there. But they'll just hang out there and fucking bum people that are coming in to pick up stuff and all that stuff. Albeit lately, they're probably hurting pretty hard for shit because since everything's shut down and no one's going, there's some people that are picking up things, but they're just like they ain't got no one to bum off of, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's see. The the other problem
So
too is they have a
this
real
is this a restaurant that you're currently working at or
yeah.
before?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is my current like I work at two of them. I have two jobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One is it's pretty much a brand new building. My second job is, and so it doesn't have any of those issues whatsoever. That place is like the squeakiest, clean sort of thing. Like it's actually the first kitchen I ever worked in that wasn't hot. Like
Oh,
like AC
oh,
actually works.
like the HVAC system was all messed up.
No, like it actually like is cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Like instead of like most places where even if they do have an HVA system and it is
Oh,
working, it's not powerful enough. They put in at my
yeah,
primary job, they put in four uh ceiling mounted, which this is their problem too, and the HVAC guys should know better. But four ceiling mounted like registers that are also returns, and I don't know how many BTU. It's like 20,000 or something ridiculous. And still just hot as shit because basically all the
yeah.
it's terrible. It's just hot in the summer and it's fine in the wintertime, but
I mean, if you if I go into a place, I can tell if it's like that. There's actually a place we just shut down, and it wasn't my direction necessarily. It was the fire department that recommended that we shut them down because their fan wasn't working at all, and that's a fire safety hazard.
oh, they're exhaust.
Yeah, the fan just wasn't working at all, and I did order them to clean their fan and get it professionally looked at, and that's how we found out it was a really big problem. So, I mean, I feel really bad, but I'm really happy that we shut them down though. So, I might have to check though, physically go there. So, because I'm really close to where I work, I'm kind of the point person for that right now. So I am gonna, you know, yeah, you know how
How
you know,
often do
you're
health
gone.
inspectors go after 5 o'clock?
Oh, not often. I mean, I have worked on weekends though, and that really surprises people.
It would surprise me because I've never seen a health inspector after 5 o'clock. And I'm like,
Yeah,
day
yeah.
shift people know that if they're going to come at all, it's going to be in the daytime. You guys should really start coming in at like 10 o'clock. Actually, you
Right?
shouldn't,
Like really
but
surprise you?
I mean, you really shouldn't.
No.
But like, it, you know,
Well, you're right though. We do surprise inspections. So we don't,
do you
you know,
shout
most
surprise
of
when
the
you go there?
time.
You should
What
shout
was that?
surprise when you go in there. Just be like, surprise!
Oh. That's kind of how people act. It kind of depends. Some places, um, they're really happy to see me actually. If they, if they recognize me and I've done inspections there before and they, have had a good experience. So they might not, you know, other places they're like, oh shit, the health inspector's here. And like I can see the other employees like talking to each other in other languages and they're running in the back and, you know,
I've
whisking
noticed.
around.
I've noticed there's I work with a lot of our southern friends, and that cross some international barriers sometimes, and albeit I think these guys do it legally, but be that as it may, I've noticed that by and large they don't quite understand sanitation and like hygiene beyond like things that they might have picked up here and there. Like I've noticed they tend to discard it for practicality a lot of times. Like
Sure. Yeah.
like if they need something defrosted by tomorrow, they seem to think that it's going to be better if they let it defrost outside of the walk-in. Shit like that.
Right, yeah, like I walk in and there's stuff sitting out on the counter or something and then, I'll ask how long has this been out? When did you take it out? What are you doing? I try to get what is your method here?
Show me your process, Anon.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Uh, uh
I was big
sometimes
lazy. I was gonna put all those memes that Bubonic made into my roll,
oh
and
yeah.
but then I was like, I'd rather eat cookies, so I ate
Yeah, you
cookies.
you have me, so you don't need that.
Right.
Right here. But yeah, sometimes it can be hard because I can only enforce really what I can, prove or observe or that kind of thing. So if I see something on the counter and I take a temperature of it, depending on what they say, it could mean, oh, they just put this out here, or oh, I know you're lying to me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I actually kind of got into it with one of them. Didn't get into it with them because, like, look, all I do is drive, right? So, as far as like what I actually have to do, as far as like keeping the place fucking good, is pretty much don't touch anything and wash my hands from time to time, and that's pretty much the
Oh,
extent of
you mean,
my.
like, right now, you mean?
Yeah, like I just deliver food.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean? But
Yeah.
I work for
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
restaurants delivering food, and so I mean, I do some light prep work, but none of it's really anything that you know would have a lot of risk, I guess. And
Sure. Yeah.
like, I mean, maybe here's the okay. Why do why would a slightly damp towel, okay, on a you got a steel table like you often see in a restaurant, stainless steel table,
I think I know where you're getting at
then
already.
a damp towel, okay, then a cutting board on top of that, right? How
Yeah.
is that a fucking violation?
Yeah, that's a violation.
But how?
It is here.
Explain your process of where something is going from the other side of that cutting board through the plastic that's quarter inch or a half inch, thick, and then on top of the cutting board that's actually being used.
Okay, well, there's a code that we use, and I don't know how Ohio is different from Minnesota, but um, if you have a wiping cloth, say that's just sitting there, and it's not in sanitizer, it's going to lose its potency, basically. It's not gonna be able to sanitize properly. It has to stay in proper sanitizer. So that is a violation. If we just see, a cloth sitting out, unless it's, going to be laundered or something, it's not doing its job. So,
But its job is to keep
it,
the cutting board from slipping.
oh, I see what you're saying. It's kind of like a, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. I've actually been to places where they had that same violation and they really complained to us about it.
Yeah, because essentially the only solution is
Right.
to go out and buy a plastic mat that goes under a cutting
Yeah.
board, which
Yeah,
doesn't
I see
work
what you're
as good a lot of
saying.
times, and still there's no way that you know there's you're not using that cloth for cleaning. You're using it as a pad, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's not on the cutting part of the cutting board, it's on the under it. So
Okay, I need to tell you something.
I'll please.
There there are so many times in my job, both the health side and the code enforcement side. So I do inspections of, residential neighborhoods as well and businesses. Uh, but there are a lot of times where I'm enforcing codes and it's hard for me because I feel like they're stupid. So,
Oh,
uh,
well, after you get done with that, let's explain some stupid codes that you might have worked on because I bet that's going to be big fun.
oh my god. Well, trash cans are the worst. Um, I'm seeing like there's people watching, but there's no one really talking in chat. I
Yeah,
just want to say,
bunch
come
of
out of your
shy and
shell, you
bashful
people.
people.
You can talk to us.
It's probably Eric Foams and
We can respond.
Red Feather, maybe Charlie Dango.
I don't know.
You don't know these people, but
Okay. Your friends.
no.
You just made that shit up.
But whatever. Let's come on, stupid regulations. This is great.
Oh, well, I mean, the worst one for us is we're not allowed to have waste containers in view of the street, which I think is one of the dumbest things
Don't you guys have
ever.
bears?
Oh, yeah, we have bears, but I mean not here where I live, but in the state, yeah. No, we don't have a bear problem. It's more a squirrel problem if anything.
But I don't think they're gonna raid the trash cans.
Well, they
That's
do. Yeah, we
oh,
have like, yeah,
you got trash
there's
squirrels.
people that,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a
yeah,
thing.
people complain about
We
the
just have tree
squirrels.
squirrels.
I just got a complaint about squirrels actually yesterday.
Who complains about a squirrel? They're
Yeah,
awesome.
I know. It was someone,
They're like the best
it was
entertainment.
a it was it was their neighbor across from her, I think, and, the garage was just filled with, clothes and baby stuff, I guess, and they said that it was attracting mice and squirrels. So that's a complaint I just got recently. Um,
Goddamn.
yeah, it's not a health or safety issue that I need to respond to right now,
That's
with
not even a
COVID-19
thing. I
and
would just
everything.
be like, look, lady, get over it. Don't look at it. Like,
Oh, you wouldn't believe the kinda complaints we get sometimes. It can be ridiculous, but, yeah, but, restaurant-wise, what you're saying, that makes I totally get it. Uh I've had people complain about wearing gloves because it they can't cut the food as good wearing gloves or something, and, we try to encourage people to use them when they're anytime they're making food that's just ready to eat. So, like,
glove
cutting
up and
carrots or
gone.
something.
Yeah, my thing with gloves, and this is the recent because of all this COVID stuff, is they, which I haven't really been following it because I think it's dumb. Uh, they're wanting us to wear gloves like from the time we leave with something to the time we get back. All right. So
Yeah, yeah.
so the idea that like, okay, I'm gonna put on my gloves and then I'm gonna open the door and touch that. Then I'm gonna open my car door and touch that. Then I'm
Yep,
gonna touch my steering
yep.
wheel. Then I'm gonna knock on someone's door, you know, or touch my phone with the gloves
Oh my
on.
yeah.
That, by the way, wearing the stupid gloves. Then drop the thing off, do the transaction, whatever you got to do, and then go back and drive all the way home or drive all the way back to the shop and get out, touch that damn door, take the gloves off. I'm like, no, that is not the how you would want to do that. Like,
Yeah, it definitely, that's another thing I look for, and I have seen that where, obviously, if you're wearing gloves, people will think they have this security, and no, it doesn't work like that because you can cross-contaminate very easily wearing gloves, or not. The best thing is washing your hands, and people, when they're wearing gloves, think, "Oh, I'm safe," or something, you know?
no, your gloves are useful while you're doing the thing you're doing. So like, so I'm not. I should correct myself. I'm not totally um what are you saying? I'm not totally disregarding the policy, but what I am doing
Right.
is improving on it, or at least I guess improving on it in the sense that, like, I'm just gonna go. I put the damn thing. First of all, I'm not touching any of the fucking food in the first place, right? All I'm touching is the box
Yeah.
and the thing
Yeah.
that I'm putting it in, and the door handles and all that shit. But none of that stuff is anything that anyone else is gonna put in their mouth unless they're eating the cardboard box. Don't think that's happening too often. Uh, and they might touch the cardboard box or whatever, but come on. I mean, there's extremely uh
It's unlikely that that would
right. You know what I
do
mean? That's
anything.
you're minimizing
Yeah.
the potential like contamination risk by and large. So what I do when I do it, um, I just go fucking normally. I walk out to my car, get in the damn thing, go to where I need to go. Then when I get there, I put the motherfucking gloves on, do the transaction, take the fucking gloves off when I'm done with it, and drive back. That's really the best way to do it because at that point, you're basically everything that you picked up on the way going to the fucking car and getting there stays in your hands, right? And then you're just gloving up for that, making the transaction so whatever they got is on the outside, right? And then you get back in the car, take the damn things off, go back to the fucking, throw them away, go back to the store, wash your hands. Not a fucking problem. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Uh,
so the idea that they'll try and say, well, do it the whole time, and then know that you know you're basically doing it for show. And I'm like, I can't do show. You know what I mean? Especially when it's would be worse than the actual method that I would come up with on my own. You know what I mean?
Right. It's kind of funny. This has all happened. I'm working from home now, so I'm not doing inspections unless it's a really big health safety issue, like I said. But I've gone to places to get food, so I've been going through drive-throughs, and I'm noticing some places they're all wearing gloves. Some places they're not. Honestly, I don't feel safer either way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you
you
don't
know what
know
I
how long
mean.
they're wearing the gloves in the first place.
Yeah, you
You know?
don't know what they touch. Like
And then how many fucking
gloves,
gloves could they expect someone to buy in a fucking week in the first place? If you're changing them all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time, like you have to be selective about where you're using this stuff or where you can put your resources in the first place. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I wanna know, did they wash their hands or not? And so, when I get something from an employee and they're wearing gloves, I that doesn't make me feel any safer, honestly.
yeah, and that got me thinking too. I was like, and I don't want to say this on air because I feel like someone's going to take it from me and patent it and make all this money. But if they really, really want to fix some of that stuff, maybe they should just make cash registers that have little UV lights in them that sanitize the fucking money through radiation. And stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like,
We are actually giving places guidance documents though. So we have contacted our restaurants. I've been making calls from home. So that's something I can do from home since I can't, do the proactive stuff. I can still call people and email them, the governor's executive order, um, like guidance for how to do pickups and that kind of thing. Yeah, so at least we're still able to do some things. And yeah, like I said, we're still responding to complaints if it's something important. But a trash can that's in the wrong place, we don't really care right now.
yeah, you shouldn't care at all.
So
But like, I'd imagine the trash can thing is that more of a cosmetic regulation.
yeah, yeah, it
That's
really
not
is.
one we have here. Like that's crazy to me. Sounds like a homeowners association
Y-
thing.
I know. Yeah, and homeowners associations, they will have their own rules that
Yeah,
go
obviously,
beyond
but
what the city rules are. Yeah, they can be more strict depending. Um, the code might change someday. That's not really up to me at all. So, um, I have to enforce codes sometimes that I don't really agree with, and yeah, sometimes it's just like that. Which that can be hard, and I think that's maybe why people might look at my job and think, "Oh, what's this bitch?"
oh
He had
yeah,
me do
totally.
this thing for.
I mean, look, I can certainly say that there's certain health inspectors that have come to my job that I'm like, this bitch is just on a power trip, and then there's other ones that are perfectly fine. Um, there was one that was like a younger girl. She was probably real gung ho about things. I could almost guarantee you, like, I think I picked out her car because it had all these Elizabeth Warren stickers or Bernie stickers on the back of it. So she was definitely real cool with her
Okay.
government power, and yeah, and yeah, that kind of stuff. And then again, there was an older lady that had come in a few times, and she just seems like an older professional lady comes in, doesn't really say too much, and she actually didn't really ask questions. She just walk around and look. My personal experience back when I was a manager at a restaurant was actually fairly good. Like when they come in, I just basically was like, if they had a problem, I would just be like, well, how do we fix that, and then just do that, or fucking, if they asked me something, I would just be like, yeah, I can't even remember the answer. It would be very generalized. But I'd basically just try and stay out of their way and let them go around and look. If they fucking come to me if they had a fucking problem.
Yeah,
I
I
figured if
I
you don't act
understand.
freaked out, they don't. It's. I guess it's like psychological because if I don't act freaked out when someone comes to inspect me, they're not going to be thinking in their head, what the hell's he hiding? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, actually, I want to ask you about that. So, I mean, you've seen different kinds of health inspectors, but overall, what's the general feeling? Is it, oh shit, they're here again? Or is it more, oh, hey, I remember you? Or
it's
just
more
from
like
your
I hope they don't
experience?
call me on some bullshit that
Yeah,
is some minor
yeah, are you
trip
like
up.
worried like you're being watched the whole time, that kind of
Well, I
thing?
don't worry
Like,
about it. Like, the only thing I
okay.
even do now half the time in the daytime when I'm there is dishes. And if they ask me, I'm just like, well, it's hot ass water. Like, it's scalding hot
Mhm.
water. What do you want? Like, there's three sinks. Look at it. Like, albeit I have to say our three sinks kind of suck because our middle sink
That's your three
doesn't.
compartment sink. You have
Yeah,
to explain what you're doing, or
no, you
do
don't
they
have
ask
to.
you to do that?
I've never been asked. Well,
Oh, I do.
what killed me is the one time that they came in and they didn't see that. First of all, no one was doing dishes because when the health inspector's there, a lot of times, like, unless they come in while I'm doing it, I'm not filling the fucking thing up. You know what I mean? And that's what kills me is,
Oh, sure.
like the one time they got one, like it wasn't even a violation. It wasn't a critical violation. I don't know if they use the same system you guys have, but like they'll have like minor violations and critical violations, and they got a critical for that, but and it was because they couldn't tell that the three sinks wasn't being used. So then the owner of this place decided from there on out that, which this never got actually enforced because it's fucking dumb. And once again, the middle sink doesn't hold water because the seal on the fucking drain plug doesn't quite work right. You have to get a second one.
Oh, you had an issue with the the rinsing sink.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was just that it wasn't filled up, right? The other two had, there was one soaking, and then there was one that I had used, I think, earlier to do some dishes, and just was there, right? Or it might have even been empty, but and we've got those three, okay, and then on right across from that we have just a big sink with a sprayer, and then there's actually like a dish machine. And half the time, if they ask, I just say we use the dish machine for everything because that just focuses them on that. And because they go, oh, okay, well, then they want to test the dish machine. But if that passes, we have an outside company to do this. So if that doesn't pass, you can just pass the buck along to them by and large, and be like, well, have them come in and check it out, fix it, you know? And, but they got this critical violation for the three sink thing. And the dumb thing is the reaction from the management at the time was, okay, well, you got to keep all three sinks, put water in each one every morning. And
Oh, I've never asked people to do that.
no, of course
I
you
mean,
wouldn't because it's dumb.
uh,
This is the owner of the business saying this after they got the violation for supposedly not using them because
oh
they thought,
no.
yeah, and this is, I think, maybe one of the problems that health inspectors will have is they'll say something to the manager or uh, the owner themselves, and they'll take that information and run it through their business logic, right? And then it comes out something
Mhm.
completely different that doesn't, because look, you obviously have holding temps for your fucking water, right? So you want some warm or hot water in your wash, whatever in the fucking rinse. I don't even fucking think it matters. And then you know,
I don't even.
and then your sanitizer is
Yeah.
uh depending on the sanitizer you're using. Um, Preferably, I'd like the two-step sanitize. So like I want to have like 170-degree water in that sink if I can, basically just straight hot water out of the hot water thing.
Oh,
And
like hot water sanitizing versus chemical sanitizer, you mean?
yeah, but you want both. But certain chemical sanitizers lose their
Oh,
effectiveness
sure.
at higher
Okay.
temperatures.
Yeah, it depends on the sanitizer, but yeah, I understand.
The one we're using at the moment is dimethyl ammonium chloride. I don't think
Sure.
I don't think it loses its effectiveness in high temp. It shouldn't anyway.
But yeah, a lot of places actually, they think the sanitizer needs to be crazy hot for some reason, and I tell them, "No, it actually just has to be, around 75-ish or something." Like, it doesn't have to be crazy high because if you have it way too hot, it doesn't work. I don't know how that would apply to people watching, but I don't know who's watching.
I'm
I
one of
hope
those
people.
people who likes the sanitized water to be crazy hot because then you've got the benefit of both things happening.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it
there's
doesn't have to be,
mechanical
but
washing. So we'll test those machines, the ones that have to be hot, like especially in schools.
right.
So we have thermometers that we can send through, and then they have like a max temperature, setting. So like we see like the hottest it'll get to. So we do that for sure. And we inspect schools twice a year. And I don't know what stream I was on recently. I think it might have been bubonic, but I
Have you
said it
been
was
on a
kind
lot of
of,
streams?
I yeah.
Okay, well, you said that like I was like,
well, well, recently I have. It's kind of weird for me, but um, yeah, I it's kind of bullshit that uh sorry. There's like a school food like the food the what is it? The federal like school like the food program.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um and because of that we have to inspect them twice a year, and honestly, the elementary schools and high schools and whatever we inspect, like, they're the best. They're so clean, and they have the best, processes, and it's kinda ridiculous that we inspect them twice a year because they're just so amazing.
Hmm. I would have never really
Like,
thought that. It kind of makes
yeah.
sense though. I
Like,
can always
some
remember like
gas
my high school
stations
had fucking great.
some
It was
gas
great.
stations are more problematic than schools. I would say.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, actually, definitely.
Oh, I wouldn't want it. I if it's not sealed in a fucking gas station, I'm not eating it. Like, because that's
Hey, I
it's
wanna
not
know
even
who's
really because of that. Mainly because I
watching.
don't like the shit they make there.
There's
But
not a lot of people in the chat. You guys need to, you know, chime in. I know I had a friend watching, but I think he left.
whatever.
Maybe he'll watch later or something,
Don't worry about the chat. Chat takes care of itself. Don't do chat. You
Okay.
should
I
know
usually
Charlie Dango. Charlie Dango ran some of the best streams I have ever heard, and I miss them all the time because they were super fun. And I can't think of actually any reason why. They just were. It was a fun place to be. A lot of like Bubonics. Like, oh, the Cringe Factory that Bubonic and Eric Films did. That was a fucking great show. It was kind of like the dump.
Mhm.
It was kind of like the dump in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
speaking of, we're gonna be we're gonna be going into dump time. Uh,
Oh yeah, I usually kick this off around that time actually.
okay,
In case you
alright.
don't
You
want to
know what?
miss your favorite program.
You know what, though? I think it wouldn't be a bad idea if you wanted to do this again another time, like, continue the conversation if we can't get
Well,
everything
you
out,
getting
because
squirrely?
I think we have a lot to say to each other, so and this is fun so far.
Okay.
So, just saying, if you wanna
Well, you could talk about that, or you could just say the things you want to say.
oh my god, you have no idea how many things I could say.
Keep saying. Let's say some.
I
What's holding you
don't know,
back?
what do you wanna talk about? You wanna talk about how I'm racist again, or
that was funny. You gotta admit that was hilarious.
oh, I have been called racist a few
Oh, really?
times.
So that's a
Yeah.
strikes a nerve with you.
Well, yeah, it's kind of frustrating because I'm just doing my
They're like,
job,
"What are you talking
and
about? We have blessed this with the urine of our cow Hindu god. This is perfectly sanitary. You're just a racist."
not not that, but
Oh, that would be so awesome if you're like, that happened to me.
I mean, there's okay, so certain certain foods require specific utensils or something. So,
Oh,
um,
where you going with
like,
this one, Goyam?
yeah. So, African cooking, West African cooking, they make fufu, and there's a fufu stick. It's a like a
What?
specific. It's like a kind of like doughy kind of bread that they dip in their soup. It's like a that kind of, yeah. So there's like a specific tool for that, and it's not really covered under our it's not really covered in um our food code. So yeah.
uh, I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the idea of African
It's okay.
cuisine.
I know fufu, it always sounds funny, but um
That's not what I was
it's a
laughing at.
big
It's the
it's,
idea of
oh.
associating food with that continent.
Well, yeah, so well, I mean that kind of thing will come up sometimes, and it's a little difficult. There's Asian like bowls that they use, especially in like Thai cooking, and some of them don't really meet our standards. So it's really difficult when we have to go into these ethnic restaurants and they're using, they're using these tools that are so normal to them, and we just don't know how to deal with it. And so it just takes a lot of learning and how we can work together. So sometimes, we'll say like it's okay, just depending on how you treat the thing. You can clean it properly, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if they're using wood for a lot of stuff,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
a fucking problem. You know what I mean? Because that
Right.
stuff's
That's the
porous and.
fufu stick I'm talking about. So
But I mean, I don't know, like, because they sell kebabs and shit. Like, those come on a food stick.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe they
It's
cook the wood though.
it can be a really big learning process. It was um because I live so close to I go to a lot of the events, and there's a lot of Liberian festivals that are planned out, and so I'll go there, and I try my best to educate them in how to cook the food properly and keep it hot held during the event. And that's a big thing. And you'll see like one time, um so they have this fish that's dried, so they use it for stock.
Yeah, it's like a red bonito flake or some shit like
I
that.
think you know what I'm talking about. And
Or what's it called? Red snapper. It's like that, where it could be dried and you can
it's
use
not
like.
red snap. It's
But
not
it's
red.
like that.
They call it bony fish.
Okay. You
Yeah,
got
I
boner
don't know
fish.
what kind of fish it is. It's just fucking
It's a boner
dried
fish.
fish. It looks, yeah. But like there was this festival, and there was this tent set up at the festival, and they had bags and bags of this fish. It was probably hundreds and hundreds of, maybe thousands of dollars worth of this fish, like in bags, and they were literally throwing them in like garbage bags, like like and selling it to people like bulk. And we had to go there. What are you doing? Oh my god,
You're like,
where's this
no,
from?
you need a food
What
safe
is it?
bag. Can't use a hefty.
What is it?
No.
Where is this from? Is this approved? Is this an approved source? We don't know if it's safe. There's something called eviscerated, so that means the fish has to be, gutted properly
Mhm.
so it's safe. And then yeah. So I mean, there's like a ton of things about my job I'm learning every day. Um really weird things we come across. So,
Well, that's interesting. So, what other stupid regulations don't you like to enforce?
oh, what? Okay.
Because you talked about
Um,
trash cans being visible, which is totally
well,
foreign concept to me. Um,
yeah, like I said, okay, so my job's kind of unique actually. Where I work, I'm half of the time, I'm really doing like health inspections, that kind of thing.
Right.
And the other half I'm doing kind of code inspections. So that means like
Weird.
long grass, vehicles that are inoperable, junk vehicles, or expired tabs. Even like I will, write up someone for expired tabs if their car's parked in their driveway, which is really interesting because like people get really confused about that because they think
It's
that's
not
a
going anywhere. First of all,
yeah,
fuck
yeah, I know
that.
it's just sitting there.
And they
Yeah.
had the same thing in Zanesville. Dude, okay. I had somebody from the city one time stop by and try and give me some sort of violation because they had drove by, or one of them had drove by a few weeks ago, and my car happened to be parked in the front yard. And I'm like, yeah, I put it there so the person that was parking there could get out, right? And then I put it back in my
Sure.
garage. And I'm like, secondly, don't ever fucking come over here for that kind of bullshit again unless you want to be beat to the curb. And he didn't really like that. And
Oh my god, don't say that to me.
well, here's the
Beer's
thing.
listening.
There
Don't freak out.
there is a certain point where I'm like, look, this is my property. I don't care what your stupid little book says. Like, get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like, you're
Yep.
not telling me that my goddamn car being parked in my front yard for an hour or two is some goddamn environmental fucking impact. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna piss oil out my in my backyard now just to spite you. Like, there's just a certain amount of you're not gonna push me that far over something that stupid. And you know
Yeah,
and I think there
yeah.
needs to be a lot more of that because a lot of these city councils and stuff, they pass these regulations, they might have a good reason here and there, but then it gets turns into an excuse where it's basically just a money grab. Oh, you're gonna fine me because my grass is higher than 3 fucking inches. Like, get boned. Like, that just you're not it's not happening, bud. Not happening. Like,
I get it. Oh my god. I mean, I am a property owner now, so uh, I have to follow the same rules. And I understand that, when I go somewhere and I ask someone, oh, your trash can is in the wrong place. You can't have it in the view of the street or whatever. Or hey, your tabs are expired. And they they're like, what are you talking
they're
about?
like,
This is
hey,
my
I thought this
property.
was
Like,
America.
yeah,
And
this is my property. Like, why can't I have a car with expired tabs in my driveway? And that's something that the police would enforce on the street, maybe,
yeah, if you're
but
driving it, but if you're not
yeah,
driving it, it's on private property. So
right.
move
Right.
along there, pencil pusher. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
this kind of stuff really gets my hackles
I
off.
can't do
So
anything about that though. That's just, it's my job.
right,
So
and I see that to a
I
point. Like, I'm trying not to blame the messenger, but at the same time, those sorts
yeah.
of things, like, you know, probably might be more beneficial to be more active in our city governments. Like, because
Right.
when they start passing those kinds of laws and having those kinds of regulations, it's
So
really a
well,
killer.
So we will always respond. Actually, you know what? I want to This is a really important thing. I want everyone to listen carefully. This is really important. You're you were talking about this whole, well, we were talking about racism. So, uh
Yes,
yeah.
my
Okay, so
favorite
this is really
thing.
important. Um so if we get a complaint about anything that is a violation of city code or state code, we have to respond to that every time we get a complaint. So sometimes I do feel like I am um, forced to respond to complaints, and I think it might be racially, you know, do you know what I'm getting at here?
Are
Like,
you saying that certain busybody white people are calling the code people on the others?
right.
Okay, because that's I think what
Yeah.
you're trying to
So
step around is trying to not blame one thing or another.
I don't want to be a tool of racism, and I feel like sometimes that does happen. But there's really not any way for us to get around that because we have to respond to complaints. So that is really unfortunate about our job, but we are really good at being you know, we're really good about outreach right now. We try
Oh,
really hard to do everything we can to understand the situation, what is going on? Like, is someone sick? You know, is there another reason why this is happening? Or, so we're, we're not doing like drive-by inspections and just slapping something on your door.
drive by.
Yeah, no, that's a joke. You could drive by and take a picture and then send them a letter, then not talk to them ever. Like,
This
no, wait.
so, and I imagine that could work the other way around too, though. Like it's not always just the one busybody white lady. Like, well, I guess not, because really a lot of the other types that she would be supposedly calling them on, they don't want to even call the police to enforce their own stuff against them. So
Well, we have problem people. You know,
Oh
I think.
yeah, what are they like? They sound fun.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Um, One of the worst things ever is actually if two neighbors just really don't get along, and so they complain about each other. I had a case where they actually had oh my god, I'm blanking on it. Like they have a what is it where they're not allowed to talk or see each other, or whatever. Or
A
be
restraining order?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I actually had a case where there were neighbors that had restraining orders against each other. They are the worst. That is the worst situation because there's not a lot you can do. It was one was like immaculate yard, perfectly trimmed. And then the other people, they just wanted to let their grass grow, let it go natural and all. 'Cause some, old hippies.
Huh.
So that was, oh God.
See, we had that. You know, it's really funny. Let me tell you a little story. Uh, when we first moved into this house here, the neighbors on our north side, I guess, our neighbors in any case, they were those people. We called them the fancies, and so they kept their yard very pristine. Now look, we are not we are not in any way like old hippie people. I mean, we're not old, first of all, and I'm certainly not a hippie. But we're also not like I don't care to make the yard perfect. Like we have first of all, we have a service. The guy comes every 2 weeks in the spring, summer, and in the
Oh,
fall or whatever.
fancy.
Well, it's just benefits, but um of knowing people. Uh, so the guy comes every 2 weeks. It's like him and his fucking son, and they mulch once a year, and they cut the grass, and that's it. And it's not really that fancy. I think it only costs like I think it's only like $20 a month if you really want to get down to it, or like 50 or 60. Uh, if we wanted to go that route. But anyhow, so but when we moved in, we put up a backyard fence, right? We fenced in the backyard. Now the only thing, so then when the guys were building the damn thing, this guy over here with their fancy yard comes out and is like, "Oh, I really hate that that's going up because now it ruins our view." And I'm like,
Oh,
first
yeah.
of all, dude, the only thing you have a view of is the back of other people's houses. There's no view out there to be had. In fact, the one house, like, because we're beside each other, right? So if he comes out and turns his head to the right, where he sees our fence, the thing that he saw when there was no fence there was another yard of a guy who never fucking goddamn they have a jungle on that side of the fucking fence. Like literally a jungle,
Yeah, yeah.
like full of I can't say it because it'll we had like chiggers, you know, and from that shit
Okay.
because he's got this, yard that's got all this crap in it, right? We never bothered to bitch to him about the fucking yard to keep the way he keeps his yard because that shit's dumb. We just don't care. So anyway, They lived there for like 2 years, and they sold their house. And then finally these people fucking bought it, and now we're the goddamn fancies, and I can't stand it because now we're the fancy neighbors who don't like the new neighbors because the new neighbors are like are like these
Oh,
fucking
oh no.
slobs, and they've got they got 3 kids, right? The wife is from South Africa. The husband's like just kind of a chooch looking dude, and he's never around though. And they're annoying as shit. The first thing they do is put up a fucking one of those trampolines in their backyard. So they got this big ass ugly thing in their backyard, which I don't really care because I don't really care, but it's like, you know, meh. Like I don't care when it comes down to it, but I also don't like it. Not something I would ever
Okay.
say. I would never say anything about it. I don't like their vehicles. First of all, the guy drives a town and country Chrysler, and then they got a Volkswagen Jetta. I'm just sitting there looking at it like you.
Violation.
I'm just looking at him. I'm just looking at his cars like, do you know nothing of cars, sir? The freaking Chrysler product and a Volkswagen. Like, are you? Do you make enough money to be done with it? Because if you just had a Toyota, you could actually get a house big enough for your family. Because their house is not big enough for their family. Then they get this dog that,
Yeah.
and the stupid wife, she walks out there and just ties the damn thing to the trampoline, and it just farts the whole.
What?
She ties it to the trampoline, left it there for like 6 hours because they're all home. They're all
Oh.
home, right? Because they can't go anywhere, and all the kids are out of school, so the dog just sits there, and it'll just be like. Now this doesn't happen on the weekends when I'm home because the their husband's home, and I don't think he lets her do it. But when they're not there, she just that and the 3 kids, and the oldest boy's like he's like some kind of autist. So like he just sits there in the backyard looking at grass like rocking. And the dog, the dog isn't barking because he's lonely. He's barking because he's tied up, and the kids are running around playing in the yard, and he can't do anything,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And they want to put in a fence, which I mean, okay, put in the fucking fence, then you won't have to tie the goddamn dog up, and the dog can play. But instead, until then, we gotta listen to the stupid kids out there playing. And I mean, we have a daughter too, but she's quiet in this. Well, wouldn't say quiet, but compared to those 3, she is. And
Yeah.
so all we do all day when that is going on is just burp, 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 burp for like 3 hours at a time.
Well, I mean,
And
I know we do get calls about that kind of thing, but
yeah, that's
that kind
not
of
a
thing would go to the
yeah,
police.
that's a
It's
noise
not.
violation if it was anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't actually telling that story thinking it related to you. I was just kvetching.
No, 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 it's fine. It's some people um a lot of people get confused about what kind of things that we cover versus the police. So we get a lot of calls that should go to them sometimes. So that kind of thing.
Yeah. So any other let me think of some other stupid regulations you might have to enforce. Well, I don't know
Oh,
because I don't know the
stupid
regulations you got. But I really really like this because things that people who have to enforce them that don't like to enforce them tend to be things that people don't like having enforced.
Yeah. So one thing that's really interesting. Um oh so one thing that's really interesting is if you're going to a house for a violation, if it's oh, I forgot to say, sorry, that we do sweeps sometimes, uh like code sweeps. So like we'll pick like a neighborhood or a street or something and just drive by and then call out every violation that we see. So we do that sometimes. So yeah, we do that. And that's a part of my job that I feel I don't know how to say this. It can be hard because sometimes there's areas where we get more complaints and some areas where we don't get any complaints. You know, Like there'll be like a neighborhood where everyone's just really dirty and they all don't care about each other at all and no one complains at all. And then there'll
That
be like
sounds great.
yeah, like, there'll be this like super nice neighborhood where like a trash can's out and someone goes fucking nuts over it. you know? So sometimes uh we try to be equal, like, rotating where we do these sweeps. But people react way differently.
It
Like I
sounds like
think I
wherever you are seems to be a little more up people's asses with the regulations that they are here in my town.
it yeah, you know what? Growing up, I grew up in a different city and they didn't really care about this kind of stuff. The city I work for, they're pretty they're pretty strict with their yeah, the regulating the
Is it your typical Democrat run city?
I wouldn't say that necessarily. I don't know the
Is it a large city or
I,
like a town?
oh, it's a very large city. Um it's a very large city. Like there it's a pretty high population and it's also a lot of immigrants in our
So it's
city too.
Minneapolis.
I'm not telling you the name of the city, but
I mean, how many are there in Minnesota? Like, I'll just
just
say it. I'm in Columbus. It's okay. You're one of a
yeah,
million people.
I don't I'm I'm okay to dox myself as much as saying Minnesota, but that's as far as
All
I'm
right.
gonna go.
Well, you live in.
Okay.
We'll say you live in. Oh shit! I can't think of a town in Minnesota. What's the one that was in the Weird Al song where they had the group biggest ball of twine in Minnesota? Where was that
I don't
one?
know what you're talking
That's where you live. It was a giant
Whatever.
place. We'll call it Bear Mountain. It's Bear Mountain, Minnesota. Chop top
Sounds pretty
health
cool.
inspector. She gone.
Yeah. Uh, fuck.
Put your
What was
trash
I
can
talking
away and on.
about? You got me out. Oh wait, what was I talking about? Oh,
Bad
sweeps. Oh,
regulation.
oh wait.
Sweeps.
Oh,
You're conflicted about sweeping
oh, and
people.
also, yeah, sweeping people. No, I wanted to say, um, I want to bring it back because I really do want to bring back that point about us being like a tool for racism because a lot of people see immigrants moving in like next door and they don't know if they're legitimate or not, And I think that's like a really big thing today. So they might complain about their neighbors just because of that. And then they might pick out like the most, mundane, boring violation. Like it's nothing. Um, but I do see a lot of people that do immigrate into this country and they don't understand that we have codes. They don't know.
What do you mean I cannot slaughter a goat? It is right here
Right.
on my property.
No,
Which
like
honestly, you should
seriously.
be able to slaughter a goat on your property. I don't actually see a problem with that.
Usually it's slaughtering chickens. Um
Fine, whatever. I don't care if they want to do
yeah.
voodoo.
That's a really big Hmong thing. Actually, so we have a really big
What?
Hmong community here.
A
Hmong,
mung? A voodoo
Hmong,
monk?
like like
Like a
it's like HMO, like Hmong, the Hmong community. Do
what?
you know what I'm talking about?
No.
What?
Is that some kind of Asian?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Hamong.
yeah. But
That's
it is
hilarious.
well, it's pronounced Hmong, but yeah. So they
Hamong.
they have
Hamong.
they have their own rituals and you know they have yeah. So it's something that we had to learn working here to understand like cultural
I think that would be a First
practices.
Amendment case pretty fast,
So
honestly.
Well, a big thing is keeping chickens with them.
Oh, well, we can keep
So
chickens here in Columbus. That's actually
we
not even
can't.
a problem. What the fuck?
Yeah.
They took away your
No,
chickens.
we can't.
How do you
I
stand
know.
this kind of crazy oppression?
It's the council. They decide. So we don't decide, the council does. So
You got to get this council.
I have no I have no hands in this, but I have to, like, I've had to go to a house once and
You
say,
should start
"Hey, do you have
investigating
a
all the
rooster
council
here?"
people. I
Sorry,
would just,
what
that's
was
what you
it?
should just go to the neighborhoods where the council people live and investigate and watch their houses a lot. How would you deal with that? What if one of the council people just left their fucking trash can out, kept chickens in his backyard, didn't have tags on his car?
It's
What do you,
really funny that you say that because we have definitely had higher ups that were written up for things. Like there was I think it was one of the guys from the police department that was written up for something, and he had a shitstorm to say about it.
yeah, well,
It's
you
like,
get those, but you got
sorry.
to get those council people because once they start having to live under their own laws and they can't keep their chickens, well, maybe that things will change.
It well, it is changing. We have different council members now, so I don't know if they're gonna have different viewpoints about things. With everything that's going on with COVID-19, it's kind of crazy. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Uh, but like, because okay, for example, there's one council member that is really crazy about trash cans for some reason. Like it's like the most important thing to him in the whole world.
God,
It's just like the dumbest
I
thing
would
to
just,
me.
I couldn't imagine. I've been on Twitter fucking with my governor so hard because I'm so sick of those stupid hashtags and all the like all that patronizing like Ohio strong, alone
Oh
together
my
and like all that kind of like that sort of shit where it's like you're talking to me like I'm a fucking kindergarten. And by the way, even when I was a kindergarten, I didn't fall for that dumb shit. Like it just like save it. I don't know who the
Yeah.
hell actually falls for that stuff. Actually, I do. I work with a couple of them. And sometimes I want to wring their dumb necks. But just that sort of like that real gung ho, like we're in this together. I'm like, no, no, we're not. If you die, I
Yeah.
work with this one broad who is so fucking freaking out about all this COVID shit, right? Because her grandma's got COPD and she loves her grandma so much and she's trying to help her out and taking her shit and so she's trying to minimize it like fucking everywhere and I'm just like I'm almost to the point like if she tells me to fucking wash my hands again after I just washed my fucking hands or to put on gloves before I touch a fucking screen for 5 minutes, I'm going to be like I don't care if your grandma dies. Okay? Like she's not my grandma. Like it's like, bitch, just go home, take a
My
nice
God.
hot shower, put on your fucking gloves, Lysol that bitch's groceries that you're taking over there, and leave me the
It
fuck alone because this stuff,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing here, isn't going to affect her over there.
Okay, it should be pretty obvious to people, like, what you're supposed to be doing right now, right?
Hmm.
And, uh, it's really unfortunate. We we got, we got a complaint about a beauty shop that was open a couple days ago, and we had to respond to tell them, no, you cannot operate. And they said, we are an essential business, a beauty shop.
I
No,
actually didn't agree with the shutting down of the salons and things like that.
yeah, we probably have kind of the same shutdown thing that you do.
Yeah,
I'm
most likely.
prob I think so. Just essential businesses. Luckily, liquor stores, I guess, are essential. So that's,
That's right.
yeah. Smoke shops aren't, though,
That's
for
dumb.
some reason.
But I mean, you could
Yeah.
buy
I
cigarettes at a gas station, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We have gas stations and we have so, you have like a clothing store that's shut down. But we have a Target that has a Starbucks inside. They have a grocery and they have, electronics, they have clothes. So that whole building, because they have food, they're essential.
Yeah.
So they kind of get a pass.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I hate is I saw people. I guess they did this in Vermont. I'm not sure about this because I only saw it on Twitter. But they actually like here they didn't do this. Now there's people yelling at our governor that I really fucking hate him in his Twitter threads, but trying to get him to do the same thing where it's like, well, Walmart's open, but people are buying TVs. They're not buying essential goods. You have to ban the sale of non-essential goods. I'm like, motherfucker, what if I need a TV? Like, the store's open. They got shit to
Yeah.
sell. Don't tell me what I think is essential in the first place. Like, I think they closing the dining rooms in the schools and dorms and restricting
Yeah.
access to hospitals, those sorts of things, okay, that makes sense. But the idea that, like, this is what really pisses me off is uh I really want to get an audio interface very soon so I can start using Reaper to do more music stuff on here. And I
Victor, I want to get a Switch, but I don't think it's gonna be possible. Or if I want one, I think I'm gonna have to pay
will
like
go to
out
Walmart.
my ass.
Just go
I
get
don't
one
know.
at Target. Like,
They're crazy expensive right now. You have
or
no
unless you're
idea.
trying to buy them at a
It's
used place.
ridiculous.
Hello?
What?
Oh, I thought it cut out for a second.
Oh, no, I
Uh,
don't know if the thing happened, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. Different states, and I have heard, I think I know what you're talking about, where like some states that you're not allowed to buy all that stuff even though it's in stores that are open. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying? Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
That's absolutely absurd. And
There's no reason for that. I don't that's that's it's way overblown in that regard, but I'm not gonna like I don't wanna I don't wanna say anything about the virus, how bad it is because um we've gotten so many false news reports and people countries are lying obviously and um it's just kind of hard every day uh and I just I'm just kind of doing what I'm supposed to for my job.
yeah, well, that's cool. The funny thing about that is that whole the lying and the numbers and all this shit. I actually think it's
Mhm.
kind of dumb, and because for one,
Like dumb why?
well, like comparing like a lot of the models that they used uh, that our Dr. Amy Acton, this fucking stupid ass Ohio hero that we've got now, that's like she's kind of deciding the policy that our governor is doing. Um, she's using all these models based on New York City and Italy and China itself, and I'm like, well, we're not any of those places. Like, we don't live packed together like they do in Europe and most parts of Asia that are, urbanized, and New York City where they're in 100-year-old buildings that share ventilation systems and, you know, it's just it's a whole different thing out here. Like, most people around here don't even live in fucking apartments. They live in single family homes. Like, it's not going to spread the same way that it's going to spread at other places. And just because, and we don't do public transport so much in Columbus either.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean?
Like
Like,
Europe is a really, really great system. We don't.
yeah. Well, you know what? You should thank your American stars that we don't have a great public transport system because public transport is for communists and lazy urban people. You get a car and you drive that damn thing like an American the way we should. That's all I have to say about that kind of stuff right there.
Okay, well, I'm actually a big fan of public transport,
You
but
just get
okay.
out of my street. Uh the but the idea
Yeah,
is
I understand what you're saying.
I mean you can also see in the sense that like when something like that does happen, maybe a subway isn't such a great idea. Maybe we should just have more parking. Like
Yeah, not right now.
and I just don't like public transport. I never have. I don't think it solves.
Me
You know what?
either.
I had my last stream last week was all about this kind of stuff. I Me and this other guy talked about how bikes are you know just terrible for the roads and they just cause more traffic and problems than they're worth and
Y-
people should drive cars.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. You can go back and listen to it if you like. It's called Titles because I had to restart the stream 7 times to get it going.
Can I tell you a really bad story?
Go ahead. I love bad stories. They're the
I
best.
just cuz I have a really bad public transport story. So, yeah, when I went to college, I had to take the bus a lot. And um I have I have a lot of bad stories. But you will see the weirdest people on public transport.
Oh, I know.
Like on the bus. Yeah, the weirdest people on the bus. So one day, I looked over and there was this guy and he was like sanding his fingers, like you know what I mean? Like sanding off
Like his
his
fingerprints.
yeah.
Yeah, you never done that?
Oh my, what?
No, dude, you definitely got to. You don't want to be tracked.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
This fucking you don't want fingerprints leaving a trail everywhere. That's crazy
He's
talk.
like he's like vigorously rubbing his fingers and it just creeped the
Was
hell
he
out of
actually
me.
doing it with like sandpaper?
I
Because you got to use a good, like a heavier grit, and then move to a less finer grit.
my oh, I hate that you like are adding to this like more information.
I'm just saying that's how you sand things properly.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks.
If you want, what a real easy way to do that is, those petty paws you can get for your pets. They're like it's like
What?
it's like a spinning sandpaper thing, right? It's like
Oh
a
my
little
god.
Dremel, and it's got a cover, and you can put their
Oh,
claw in.
Dremel tool?
No, it's
What?
not a Dremel. It's just like a Dremel where it spins, right? And it's got a little sanding wheel on it, and you can put it in the claw on the paw of your four-legged friends, and
Okay.
and you can clip their toenails without cutting them, right? Just sand them off like you'd sand your fingernails. Well, if you take the
Yeah.
protective cover off and turn it on, you can slowly. It's like a petty egg. You can slowly take uh, a lot of the skin off of your fingerprints and do this stuff.
Victor, you're a problem.
I don't see how. I'm just giving people useful
I can
advice.
tell.
Just useful advice.
Oh, okay.
The petty eggs, they got sanders for your feet too, where you can like take off dead skin and shit like
Oh,
that too.
it's for your old grandma. That's what you should say.
Maybe.
I take care of my grandma's toes.
Uh, no, they're dead.
Oh, fuck.
That was a long time ago, and I wouldn't have done that anyway. I'm a terrible
Oh my
person.
god. I'm so,
I'd be like, look, you got kids for
I
that.
opened a wound.
uh, she could have left me her car. Maybe I'd
Oh.
feel differently. It actually really wasn't that
My
nice of a car. Just an old citation.
aw.
Now,
Oh, my ex-boyfriend, uh,
God, your husband's
way
here. Don't
back.
talk about your ex-boyfriend. What's wrong with
Oh, no, it's cool, like, we're all friends.
you? Oh,
It's fine.
that's weird. You say
I
I'm
know.
weird.
No, it is really weird. I know. Like people don't understand it. Like they were best friends in high school. It's okay. Like we're all good friends now.
I don't think it's
But
that. Things happen.
it
People know each other.
it's kind
It's
of
not
weird.
really.
It is
Oh,
kind of
all
weird. I
right. If you
know.
think it's weird,
But
I was gonna try and pass it off and be non-judgmental, but
no,
go
I was
ahead.
he had a story though. He was on a bus once and there was some dude that had like he had a cane and he said it was gun cane.
Okay, you
Yeah,
can do
he was
that. I mean, I could
some
tell you.
fucking weirdo on the bus. He's like, "It's my gun cane."
You you do realize that's actually really easy to make.
I like kind of hope the story's true.
Well, you just get a cane that has a tube in it, right? And then you
It was just a fucking cane. Like
yeah, but you can
it
all
wasn't
you
a
gotta do
gun.
all you gotta do is take split it somehow, and you can actually get the little 22. Like, there's a way to drive nails, right? That basically uses a 22 round with a nail in it, and you just set the thing on there, and then you hit the top of it with a hammer, and it fires
Oh, we're
the
getting a good talk now.
yeah, and it fires the rim card. It fires the nail into whatever you're trying to do. There is some kind of stapler, and but it uses a 22 round, like an actual little 22 round, just doesn't have a lead piece in it, and so you just get one of those, make a little single shot with your cane, and fucking put that shit together. Boom. Charlie know what I'm talking about. He make guns. Well, he doesn't make them, but he has them. He's probably thinking, "What the fuck is this guy talking about? This is dumb. That's such a terrible idea. Just get a gun if you're gonna get one." So yeah, but
Yeah, I'm wondering who's watching because there's like so many people ghosting us right now. They're watching and they're not saying anything.
yeah, who knows? There's always people. Well, I know one of them's probably Nightbot, and there might be an Eric Foams out there, and maybe some other people. I'd figure if Charlie was here, Eric would talk. But
Charlie says he knows what you're talking about.
oh, sweet. Yeah, I think he probably knows what I'm talking about with the nail driving 22 things.
How did we get into this? I
I don't
don't know.
remember. We were talking
No,
about people on the bus, and then I started.
I don't know.
See,
I'm having fun with
I
you.
love a tangent, so that's the way it goes.
We were supposed to talk about health inspections or some shit. I
Yeah,
don't
I know,
know.
but then I ran out of steam. See, I told you we'd just wing it, and that's what I do.
I'm getting into like shaving off your fingers on a bus.
Yeah, and petty paws, and the grandma's dying.
Oh,
Which is, depending on how it happens, this can actually be really funny.
hey, do you have like a regular show? I'm sorry, like I know I'm asking this like with the chat listening, but I don't know what your
This
schedule is at
is my
all.
regular show.
You normally go this time?
Yeah, usually
Oh,
about
okay.
usually
Okay.
about oh my god, it's almost 2. Usually I end it now, but
I know. It's like kind of that time.
yeah, I kind of agree.
Ugh.
And I think I'm going to eat some more cookies or something or have some apple juice. I like apple juice. The Yeah, this is my usual showtime. Now, most of the time, I'm usually more open-ended about it.
I
Oh, what
kind
I
of don't
was getting
I don't
to is I
I
wanted to
don't think
add.
I'm done with
You don't think you're what now?
I don't think I'm done with you.
Okay, that's weird.
No, I mean, no, I have fun.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's super fun. One of these days, I actually got to get around to like getting on other streams and talking and stuff. But I feel like if I get in one of those like a Doc Griffin show or I could probably handle myself pretty well in the Insomnist. Um,
I have so much more I could talk about if people want to learn more about health inspections and what it's like
I'd imagine it's
with
like
my job.
being a parking attendant, but
No.
way more fucking stressful. Mainly way more
Um
stressful than someone would typically put with it. It's like, oh, it's a
yeah,
parking ticket.
it,
And they're like, oh, my
complicated.
business.
It it's so much more, like, it's so much I would like to talk to you about, like, I can't. I can't in, what, 1 minute?
Yeah. Maybe we'll come back and you could get some panels or something like that going on.
Well, yeah, I imagine you have more questions for me because,
I did,
I
but I
really
forgot them all.
I yeah. Yeah, we didn't really even get into what you wanted to talk about, um, just regular health inspections, so
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay. So,
say one thing.
before we end it,
Uh,
one more stupid regulation you don't like to enforce.
oh, you're really into that.
I do. I fucking hate regulations.
Okay, okay. Restaurant, why?
Whatever. Just pick something you don't like to do.
Um,
Or stupid
let's see.
regulations that serve no purpose. Whatever. Or
Trash
you could
cans are
tell
the
me
worst.
or you could tell me the worst restaurant you've seen aside from the sewer one.
Oh God.
Cuz that seems to be a very obvious one. Like how bad can it get? And how much did they argue with you about it?
Um, okay, I guess the worst. It's really hard. I mean, that sewer backup I told you about.
Right.
Um,
Other than that, cuz you
that
already said that.
place. Yeah, it was kind of obvious, and they wanted to deal with that anyway. But um, it was actually the exact same place when I was an intern. So I had just started working. Um, I was learning how to be a health inspector, and um, I was very observant. I'm a very
It's
observant
like you
person.
get through it and they give you your sash like you did good kid.
What?
It's like you get through that first inspection and they give you your health inspector sash and
Oh,
they're like you did good kid.
I got a gold star and a,
What? You get gold
yeah.
stars?
He, he, the inspector I was with gave me like everything that was in that cereal box. So,
There was a cereal box?
like I got the I got the rainbow and the gold star and the you know what I'm talking about. Lucky
No.
Charms.
Oh, you got. Oh, I gotcha.
he was he made a joke. Okay, but anyway, I was there as an intern and he was doing the inspection and I was looking around and I saw a cockroach. So, uh if you see a cockroach, there's gonna be more. And
Yeah.
I yeah, and I saw there was this bowl up like on a shelf that they got somewhere, and I think that's where it came from because I pointed at it, and so we took it out, and there was a bag of flour, and he opened it up, and cockroaches just spilled out, and it was this the creepiest, scariest thing I had ever seen.
Like a fucking horror movie when they open up the thing
It
and they
was.
all crawl
I
like on a
think you can
Halloween.
imagine. Yeah,
I'll tell you.
I think you can imagine what that was like.
I'll tell you the worst thing I ever dealt with
Wait,
being
my
what?
story gets a little better.
Oh, okay. I thought that was over because I was like, that was
No,
kind of lame to be honest.
no. Well, okay, so the guy brings the whole like bowl out and the flour bag and everything, and he's wearing flip flops and he's like stepping on the
Oh my god,
cockroaches with his flip
no,
flop. Yeah, he's like trying to crush
no,
them all.
that's awesome.
It was so bad.
You know what? I can actually one up that one easily. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, I'll give you a primer first. Okay, so the restaurant next to the one of the restaurants I work in now is this sushi place, right? And I think they're completely closed at the moment. But when they moved in there, they're all like Filipino people, and
Mhm.
the guy, one of the owners, is like a short man. He's bald, and sometimes like it looks like like in like kung fu movies where it's like they go to that back alley, and there's all those like old dirty guys sitting around playing dice, like
Sure.
and that's kind of what they look like from time to time. And but anyway, so he'll like go outside and walk around. He's always wearing a fucking tank top, like no sleeves, right? He wears fucking flip flops, and I don't think he cooks. Thank God, I don't think he cooks. But I don't know what the fuck he does. He's just kind of there. And so he'll get out there.
Yeah.
And he'll be standing around in his fucking flip flops. Then we used to have a bench on our back patio. Now, remind you, this isn't his fucking restaurant. So when he walks over to our bench in front of our restaurant, not really. This isn't cool to do. Motherfucker walks over here on this fucking bench and starts fucking picking at his fucking feet, like all the skin and shit, and like
Ew.
his like toenails and all this shit. And then he'll like
Ugh.
smoke a cigarette and walk back in, the fucking house. Now, or walk back into his restaurant. Now, but that's not the worst thing I've even dealt with. That's just I just thought of it because I'm like, man, that old dude's nasty. Um, Actually, I got two of them. The worst thing I ever dealt with as a driver, and it still affects me to this day. Uh, this is an exclusive. I don't think I've told this on any stream before. So I took
Oh.
I took this delivery to this apartment over just I don't know, just over to an apartment. And I get there, and I find it, no big deal. And walk up there, knock on the fucking door. Well, the guy opens the door, and a wave of just horrible fucking smell comes out, like so thick in
Okay.
the air you
Yeah.
could smell it and taste it, right? And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, right? So I hand him the fucking thing, the credit card slip and the pen, and I kind of look down because I didn't want to like, you don't know what to fucking do, so I'm just kind of looking
So,
down.
were you at, like, a garbage house?
Worse, it was an apartment.
What
It was an apartment on the second floor of like an 8-unit apartment building. So like there's four on the bottom and
Yeah.
four on the top. And it's kind of like one of those like Roach Motel looking places that got converted, but it's not a Roach Motel. But you know what I mean? Like the doors are on the outside. You don't gotta walk into not a private entrance like that.
Yeah, I understand.
So anyway, this actually probably should have been a job for the health department, to be honest with you. That probably would have been the fucking person to call. Anyway, just go on here. So I'm just kind of looking around, and I notice that throughout his entire apartment just piles of dog shit and like cat shit everywhere, right? Like all on the floor, covering like literally almost
Sure.
every square inch of it. And I look fucking
Yeah.
down, and because I'm just like looking, and I look fucking down, and this motherfucker is standing there barefoot with all of his toes in two piles of shit, and he's kind of squishing them with his toes as he's
Oh.
fucking moving. And
Oh my
there
god.
was like a quarter inch of
What?
fucking piss on the fucking floor too, right? So he's got piss shit water just covering this entire floor. Tip me $5, which was
Oh
nice,
my
but
god.
I got back in my car and I felt so fucking terrible. Just
I'm so
felt fucking terrible
sorry.
because it was just like, what the fuck did I just see? I was sitting there in my car like,
Oh,
like trying to like just keep myself together. I get back to the shop and I'm like, oh my fucking god, y'all, what I just see this motherfucker standing in shit, and all this stuff, and
Oh,
it's stuck with me to this day. Like, just every time I think about it, I just look down and there's those fucking toes squishing shit, and it's
okay.
like,
I have stories like this too.
But wait, and now the worst thing I ever dealt with as a manager is a little not quite as bad. We'll refresh it a bit, and I'll give you a palate cleanser. And the so I get to work. I worked out on the east side of Columbus, which is not the good side. And so there was a lot of like fucking crackheads, all kinds of fucking crime and shit. And I'm managing this pizza shop that actually after they fired me from it, like so they closed the store 6 months later because it got fucking robbed and the fucking manager who didn't replace me but was working the night got fucking shot. He didn't die. But so he gets fucking shot and the owner was like, well, fuck that.
Wow.
And so he went from having 4 restaurants to 3. And I think they replaced it with another type of restaurant, but that one went belly up too. I don't know. I didn't drive out there for fucking years. Because what was weird is it was all the way across town for me, and the motherfucking the first job I got after getting out of there, God forbid I could have got a job close to where I fucking lived, but right back on the same fucking road, just on the south side of it. Fucking, it was stupid. Anyway, point being is, I get there nice and early one day, go to the fucking bank, do my thing, come back, and walk outside, fucking take some trash out, and there's a fucking pair of drawers, like a pair of pants with fucking boxers in them, just sitting there by the dumpster,
Okay.
full of shit.
Yeah.
And that was kind of hard too, but that wasn't nearly as bad. I just got a stick and threw it in the dumpster. I'm like, why couldn't you fucking throw it in the dumpster, Mister Shit Your Pants, and walk away with no pants? Like, because somebody had to have taken they shit their
People are
pants. And,
weird.
yeah, it's really odd. So anyway, go ahead. What was yours?
Which another thing.
Yeah, I'm sure you got some poo stories,
Oh,
like
actually,
people's houses covered in
mm,
shit with quarter-inch of water, and they walk around with squishy toes.
recently, you just actually exploded my brain. Like I have so many things to say.
Dude, it was awful. That was an awful
There's so
experience.
I'm sorry. There's just like actually too many
I just kept thinking,
stories.
man, what? I feel really bad for his pets because they
Oh
never
my
get
god.
walks. They never get walks. They just
Yeah,
shit
I
right
mean,
there.
I've dealt with poop. We do that all the time. We my coworkers and I have so many jokes about this, like how to tell people to pick up poop because it's just I'm sorry, it's a funny word.
What, poop? Poop is a great word. It's one of
Yeah,
the best. It
but
seems that
poop is
words
a
that have
problem.
like double O's and double G's are super fun to say. I don't know why.
um, I
And a lot
I
of those words you
recently
can't say poof in fucking you can't say poof in YouTube chat, by the way.
look like we have to write our notices so everyone will understand them. So we have to have like
You have to
language.
use layman's terms when you're
You
describing
know, we
poop.
have to
Please
we have to have
remove your
language.
fecal matter. Fecal matter.
Fecal matter. People don't understand that. I don't know. Like maybe poop is a
We
better
can't
word.
remove our facial matter. What are you talking about?
You know?
Oh
I don't
god, and
know.
fecal matter. Please get the
What?
stool off your stools.
Stool. People don't get that. You know?
So you
You have
write
to
poop a lot. No,
you have
you
to
you
have a word that people will understand if you speak different languages. So, um whatever. Anyway, fuck that. My story. No, just recently I was at a house. It's a woman that lives in an apartment, and I think she has a dog, but I've never seen her or the dog. Every time we've gone there, like she hasn't been home, but it's a severe mouse issue. Like there's mouse poop everywhere, and the place is the smell. So you know the smell of ammonia,
Yeah,
the pee smell,
yeah, yeah. Cat
but
piss.
yeah, like add on to that kind of poop smell and things have been sitting there fucking forever smell. And um I couldn't handle it. Like I had when I went into the house, I or the apartment, I had to like plug my nose.
Oh, you definitely want a mask.
Yeah,
Like
a mask. I don't think a mask would even help.
filled with
Unless it was a gas
like
mask.
yeah, exactly. Like filled with some kind of sweet smelling thing. You
Yeah.
know, I just realized
Uh,
that fucking dude with that apartment lived on the second story. So the guy in the apartment below him probably could never figure out why his fucking ceilings were brown.
oh, we deal with that. That's another thing. Like we totally if there's a problem in a place, we will ask the apartments, and most of them are really good about this. They already do this, but they will treat, the units that are above and below and next door.
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
Yeah. So, um that one, I definitely like couldn't handle walking into it. Like, but I've been there a couple times. And I'm hoping that the apartment, they really need to help. Okay, this is the thing. Like, you can like we're laughing, right? We're laughing about this shit.
They're literally laughing about this shit.
Kind of, you know, but the thing is, like, these people need help. Like, so this woman, she has health issues, and we worked with the apartment to try to make sure that she got um resources that would help her like get back on a good track, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so every time I see this kind of thing, I try to look at the person and what happened to you, you know, did you have like some kind of traumatic experience, why did this happen?
What made you want to live in shit? Like,
Right.
why do you hoard things? What do you need 500 editions of magazines for?
It's serious. Yeah, it kind of, yeah, seriously, it is like that. So um I I try to go beyond. I really want to talk to you more. I don't know. Do we have to stop?
No,
Okay.
unless you have to stop.
I don't have to stop.
We'll keep on going then.
Um, I have a
This is the
really
most people I've
good.
ever had watching, so you might as well just keep going.
Really?
Yeah, they're the same people, but still.
Um,
Like,
well, okay. So I had this experience where um we work with another city, and I was called to go to a hoarding house. And this is also when I was an intern, by the way.
okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't used to dealing with anything at all.
Okay.
Um, but I my boss told me, if you have a problem, let me know and we can respond or whatever. He thought, like, yeah, here's the things, like, if they don't have water, um if they don't have, heat or electricity or something, like, or if it's extremely, dirty or something, like, there's reasons why we can shut down a house, or post it uninhabitable. um it has to be pretty bad. It has to be really bad for us to post it uninhabitable. um but I went to this house, and I immediately contacted my boss because it was kind of bad. Um, But before we even entered the house, the police officers came with us. The reason was because she wasn't um collecting her mail.
Right.
So I
The
think a
wellness.
neighbor, yeah. So I think a neighbor called and said, something's wrong or
Please tell me
something.
this ends in a dead body. Or just a really funny fat person trapped under a bunch of magazines. I'm guessing it doesn't end in either one of those things. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I thought you just got really offended and just dipped out.
I don't know.
Because I
I'm
was.
sorry. I was I hit the wrong button.
Oh, gotcha.
No. Uh, some police officers are assholes. Okay, like
No shit.
I'm sure. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, some cops are assholes. Like, go on.
Some are, but when I was there, when we first went to the door, the police officers said they were gonna bust their way in, and she was scared. She was really scared of them, and uh, th- yeah, they weren't very nice. And then we got in, and the home looked really hoarded. Um, she she liked to every time she got mail, she put it on the couch,
Uh,
like stacked it up. And then she had this really old television that was on, but like the video wasn't working very well, like but she kept it on anyway. And then she hoarded books and everything was dusty. Um and in the kitchen, she she really liked to eat uh progresso soup,
okay.
right?
Well, shit,
Like
that was a classy one, huh?
you get like a specific kind. So she had like literally like a pile of that specific soup, those cans. Like
Hmm.
they were like piled up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Um just a huge pile because it was like a Christmas tree, you know? Like like and like her God, everything was just really hoarded. And I went into the bathroom with her because I was trying to be nice. So I was, trying to, and I was an intern, and my boss told me, make sure the water works. So I went into the bathroom with her, and I'm like, "Oh, does the toilet work?" And she said yes, and then like I flushed it, and then she freaked out.
She was saving that water.
Yes. Yes, you're exactly right. Like, she was
She couldn't
trying to
just
save
put
it.
it in jars like a normal hoarder. Like,
I don't know. I think she's just crazy about wasting it or something,
yeah, that tends to be a
Like,
common thing. Is they don't like to waste things, so they
yeah,
think throwing
yeah.
things away is a waste. But and I
Along
actually
with
could
the
understand that to a certain point.
Yeah, along with the Progresso cans of soup, she had probably 40 or so like takeout chicken. Like so there was like 40 or so like chicken bone containers like piled
I'm gonna
up.
make
Like
some soup stock. I'm
she
gonna make
didn't
my
throw
own
them out.
progresso.
She didn't throw them out. She just had them there like piled up. And then
Yeah,
she kept all her
obviously she was a
newspapers.
hoarder. She wasn't throwing anything
Um
out.
Everything was dusty, but the God, those police officers were like total assholes to her. I was really mad. they were, like, making fun of her, like like, right
So am
in front of
I.
her.
Like,
God, I was trying to
so
be
would I.
really nice, and, you know, trying to understand her situation, and they're just being total dicks. And okay, this is not my city that I work for. This is a different city, but I was pissed cuz they were total dicks to her, but she ended up being on a mental health hold. So she had to go to the hospital. Um and we asked her to change her clothes because um yeah, they weren't good. So
No, I bet. Just it
yeah,
wasn't actually
see,
clothes. It was just a bunch of dried progressive soup.
yeah, my job's interesting. Am I being okay tonight? I'm sorry. I've
You're
been
fine.
talking a lot.
It's fine. I'm just letting you talk. You never find
Okay.
any Eric Foams had a question. Say hello to Eric. He's a regular. Um you ever found a dead old lady being eaten by cats yet?
Oh my god, you know what? The
You
worst
have.
oh, no, no, the worst thing I've ever oh, you guys, you're bringing a memory back. That's really bad.
Let us hear more about that.
Yeah.
Bad memories are the best.
Oh. So,
Here you found an old lady eating the cats.
no. Um, this is really bad, you guys. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sending really bad news to you all, but I went to I went to this vacant house with I was an intern again. I went with another intern, and this garage door was it was a vacant house. But this garage door had like a hole, and I think it was like kind of torn out a little, but the cat didn't make it. And there was no, there was like a dead cat. Like these people like left their property without taking care of their cat. They just left it in the garage
Yeah,
to
that's a
die.
thing. That's and look, I like cats quite a bit
Oh my
actually,
god.
but it's still funny. Like
It was no, there was this, like, dead cat, like
just
like,
stuck in a
sticking
garage
out
door
of
like
the garage a little, like, from a hole, and that was, like, the worst thing I've ever seen. I was so mad. I'm like, "Can we do something about these people?" Like,
well,
god
they
damn it.
moved out. What are you going to do then,
Fuck, these people are terrible. Some people are just really big assholes, like, stop it. Can you take care of each other? Can you take care of your animals, please? God, I'm so mad.
I never understood
That was
why
like
like
it's like
some
the worst
people
thing I've ever seen.
in certain communities uh they'll just like move out and just leave their pets there because they
Yeah,
and I'm like, what? Why can't you? Maybe you shouldn't have them like in the first place.
I
At least
know. Oh my
I know if
god.
I was gonna move, I'd probably take the animals with me.
Victor, I have so many stories to tell you about my job. You have no idea.
Yeah, sounds like there is going to be a lot of them. There tends to be that because you're having to work with typically, the worst of people, even in a certain job like that, where you're just basically like, you know, enforcing mild city codes.
Well, yeah, I'd like to say most of the time it's really good because restaurants, they know I'm coming. So when I go there, usually they're like, "Oh, hey," you know.
Right, right.
Um it's the weird ones like the hoarding situations. Um I got subpoenaed by the court system to I had to go to court once about mold. Um, that's weird. Uh, like infestations. like, it's all over the board, but, I mean, when I go to someone's house just to tell them, like, not to move put their trash can away, those people are the craziest.
That's crazy. Charlie Dango in the chat says, my mom's friend was an EMT once. She had to remove the corpse of a squatter from an old apartment building in my hometown. She said the body was filled with cockroaches. Sleep tight.
Oh my god. Thanks for that nightmare, Charlie.
Sounds hilarious to me. I just feel like after that point, you'd pretty much have to just get a good big spatula and just kind of scoop them out, like the whole body itself.
Oh my
Depends on
god.
how disconnected all the tissue would be, I
This
guess.
sounds like a horror movie. Charlie.
Life is a horror movie. That's the thing. We just haven't figured out the way out
I don't know. I have a lot of stories.
yet. Yeah, I think I'll have to have you back sometime because my ears are
Yeah,
starting to get crushed by my cans, and I mean they're not Progresso cans crushing. I mean the actual headphones. You know, in the
okay.
business we call them cans. By the way, you know, in the business. Um,
Oh, okay.
oh, you know the other thing I was saying about that non-essential shit in those businesses way back to call it back from like an hour ago. Uh, been really wanting to get an audio interface and some new strings, but I can't because the goddamn fucking music store is closed. Really pisses me off.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's big sad. Plus, I'm just getting my like refunds back, which is
Big
kind of
sa-
nice. But I might have to get a new transmission. But that you don't know anything about that sort of stuff. I was just kind of I go on a tangent.
No, you're good. You can complain. Everyone can complain right now.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to complain about, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They closed the
I-
fucking dining room, so basically people have two choices. And as long as they still make money somehow, they can either get yeah, I know I can order them, but I kind of want to like buy other stuff too, and I don't want to buy a new one. I mean, guitar strings is one thing. Sorry, I'm talking to chat. And I could
yeah.
go through Sweetwater, but whatever. Uh, I'm just being lazy about it. All right, I'm just giving you guys an excuse to say that I haven't been able to get some equipment. And to be honest, before I spend the money on an interface, um, I need to get like a tuner, and I need to get like a whole package of
You
things.
gonna play a song for us?
No, not at all.
Hey, what the
Not
fuck,
tonight.
dude? You talking about it?
Well, for one, I can't tune my guitar at the moment because I don't have the ears for it, and you know, so I got that sort of shit going on. But that's coming down the line. Like I said, I need to get an audio interface, start putting that together. I think I might want to get a keyboard too, and I thought it'd be really fun to learn like the Empty Nest theme song and shit like that. Like I don't know how to play any of it, but it'd be fun to start recording it in Reaper and like just putting out versions of it. And I can't, you know, apparently copyrighted music that's being
I
played
think
on.
the chat wants you. That's what I'm
Okay,
seeing.
all right. Well, let me go grab it. Fuckers.
You're fucked, dude. Oh, Victor, what
Oh shit.
are you doing? Are you doing? Oh my god, are you doing a thing?
He said I came for the acoustic. I
Are you doing
stayed.
a thing?
I stayed for the broad to to get the acoustic. I ordered a mini Korg. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about getting a big used one. I can't actually play acoustic guitar. That's the funny thing. And it's so out of tune.
Someday maybe I can sing with you if it's something I know.
I can't think of a duet that'd be any good.
Yeah, it's okay. Not no. Don't do that.
Oh well. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna end this stream. Uh, so I'll
Yeah.
just play us out, and we'll call it. I'm gonna call it outro song in the key of Rand.
Hey,
That'll.
first, hey, I had fun with you,
Yeah, it was super
and
fun time.
I really would like to talk to you more about this.
All right. Well, I'll
Let's
probably
do
do
it again.
something different next week, but maybe in a couple weeks we'll do the same thing again. Or
Yeah.
if I'm ever just here and on and you're happing around, I can always do that kind of stuff.
Wash your hands and
Yes, wash your hands and on. Glove up, motherfuckers.
blow up, motherfuckers.
All right. So there's that. And then now I do the song for the outros time. And it's gonna sound bad. And there won't be any words unless I come up with some while I'm playing it.